Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Good Times Noodle Salad. I'd very much recommend going and checking out the first episode if you haven't already. It was a lot of fun. On this episode I have the extremely cool Harry Parker to join me to discuss, we reminisce about Download Festival in 2015, Bestival of the same year over in the Isle of Wight, discussing the current state of the world as Harry's journey over to Thailand fairly recently. It was a lot of fun. We covered a lot of stuff. And just talked about the greatest band in the world, Tenacious D. I hope you guys enjoy another episode.
Hello.
Hello. You right?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Nice headset.
Oh, thanks. I thought I'd give you the proper treatment because I live with 5 other people, so it's never really that quiet in here. We're not driving each other too mental yet. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's just crazy all this though, isn't it? It's pretty.
I know, it's absolutely mental. Well, I went back to Thailand in February in March, sorry, for like a long holiday. I had a 3-month visa, so I was going to kind of just stay there for a while. When I left, the whole pandemic thing was, just the flu, nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks of being there, it was like they were calling all UK citizens home, like all the borders were closing, and I just thought, shit, like it's all very well me being on holiday here for a couple of months, but I'm gonna get stuck here, like. So I obviously came home.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean, I'm happy to stay. I just don't. It's hard, like getting work and stuff at the moment, isn't it? Because
So hard. Yeah.
well, nowhere's open. So
Yeah, exactly. I've been quite lucky. Well, because I work in retail, so I mean
right.
they've been open the whole time, really. So
Yeah. So you've never had a break.
no, it's been exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, not as
I
much
bet.
as obviously NHS have just been crazy, haven't they? They've just been had it the worst, I think. But thank God they're
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I
Mm,
mean, I get the whole lockdown thing. I'm all for it. Like, obviously, we don't want to overwhelm them.
mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think a lot of people are restless, but they still need to just not forget the bigger picture,
Yeah.
Like, it's better that we're like this for another few months
Mm.
rather than everyone just rush out and then we're just back in lockdown for
Yeah.
longer.
And it goes on for, well, yeah, months more, or possibly even the next year.
So
Mm.
my plan was to go to Thailand and then come back and, go to download with the crew. I was really
Yeah,
excited. And then
yeah,
I opened my calendar the other day and I saw like download written over the weekend. I was like, oh, fuck.
yeah. I mean, it got me thinking about that year that we all sort of went in that massive group,
Yeah,
which I think was kind of impromptu, really, because I remember going with Mitch and Ali, and I was aware that you guys were going
yeah.
through Hannah, and then it just kind of took off from there, and obviously we all camped together, and it was pretty good laugh.
Yeah. I was looking through some photos and
Mm,
oh my God, I think like still to this day, that was like, that's got to be in my like top three, if not top two festivals.
nice,
Like, I mean, to
so
be
good.
fair, because I didn't know any of you guys,
Yeah.
um, and I knew Hannah and that from school,
Mm,
but I think where I'd kind of been traveling and stuff, I'd kind of lost like closeness with them a lot. And then it was like 5 days before download, I happened to run into them. And they were obviously like, just come to download, come to download. I was like, do
really?
you know what? Yeah, I was like, do you know what? Fuck it, I will.
Yeah.
I'd got my first credit card through like that day when I
Yeah.
saw them. And then I was like, I can't really afford it, but I'm going to go. And it just opened a can of worms. I was like, from
Wow.
then on, I was just like, hell yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. I didn't know it was like a last minute thing for you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd been to festivals before, but it was my first download and
Yeah.
my first like one with them guys properly.
Mm.
And then yeah, every year we've been to one since when I've been in the country
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
because I do
nice.
tend to float about a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've done loads of travelling. I can see like when you posted about it, it just looks great. Like the places you've been.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
it's been pretty great, but I mean, you do like miss out on a lot of stuff, so it's
Mm.
nice to be home for a while. I mean, even, not that we could do anything, but
Mm. Yeah.
We're planning festivals for next year.
Yeah. I'll make the most of them next year for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm expecting them to all be twice as long.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'll just do like a full week or so. Where I went to Bulgaria like a few years ago,
Oh yeah.
because a friend of mine from the pub that I used to work in is from there, and Devin Townsend was kind of doing a gig over there as well in this great sort of ancient Roman sort of
Oh,
theatre.
that sounds
It
awesome.
was so good, and it was in this city called Plovdiv, which was just really great to have a look around. And what struck me most about it was just how much more laid back it was than in the UK.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like, well, even with like the venue, for example, it was like it was open air and was up this sort of rocky mountain, I guess. And you could see there was this boulder just at the top of this like hill that was only being held up by like some massive ratchet straps and stuff. And it was like you just wouldn't see that in the UK. You wouldn't be able to go to the gig there because it would just be too dangerous. But
That's amazing.
it was crazy. But it's just stuff like that. It's really, particularly in the job I'm in, sort of is massively health and safety orientated.
Yeah,
So it is cool to see just go somewhere where that doesn't matter so much.
that's so cool. I've definitely noticed that because I mean, I obviously like download. I just loved it so much. I mean, like I don't know if you must remember, like when we went, I wasn't even. I mean, I've been into that kind of music since I was like 15, but I wouldn't. I mean, I listened to everything,
Mm.
so going to that, like there's me and like all my colours and just like, walking around with glitter and everyone's just like
Yeah.
dressed in black. And,
Yeah.
like I was a bit worried before I went. I said to them, can I pack like colourful clothes? And they were kind of like, oh, I don't know, like people mainly wear black. I was like, well, I don't care. And I just
Yeah.
like, felt so welcome anyway. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I actually do. Like nobody gave a shit. Like it was
No.
just great.
Yeah.
And then like we went to download all Rockin Park like every year since that download.
Yeah.
Rockin Park in Germany obviously was just like so good, but it was also
Imagine.
like more relaxed
Yeah.
as well. I noticed that. So
Yeah. I can imagine. That looks amazing, that festival. It looks
yeah,
huge as well.
I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I remember that sort of. Obviously, that was the first time I met you. Was at Download, um, and it was just the whole group. It was just great positive vibes, and I've always loved that festival anyway because I do think it's very, like you say, it's very welcoming. Um,
yeah.
and although I suppose it's like the cool thing to do to wear black and stuff, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And I think, I mean, I wasn't that worried about it because I just thought like no one's going to care. But I did think I would get some funny looks, and I didn't. So it was just like
Mm.
awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
there was people dressed as fish fingers. Do you remember the fish finger guys?
Yeah. I had
I just
forgotten
got,
about them actually, but yeah.
I found that photo when I just had a random fish finger guy come up to me like,
Yeah.
"Yo, like, can you guess what I am?" I was like, "I have no idea." He pointed and was like, "Look over there, he's with us," and it was
Yeah.
obviously Captain Birdseye, and I was just like, "Oh god!" And then I remember they lifted me up for a photo, and then they turned around and like said to me something like, "Cool, blimey, you're heavier than you look." I was like, "Cheers, lads." Cheers. Oh, it was so funny, but
Yeah.
they were great.
Yeah. So good. I remember because you do get a lot of fancy dress and stuff as well, which I've never actually done. Yeah, I would like to do that. But
Yeah.
Shirin do it as well? She dressed up as like a middle finger or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then when we went to Bestival, like, because they have a theme kind of, don't they?
Yeah.
I found those as well. Shirin dressed as a middle finger and Colin dressed as Jesus.
Oh yeah. He was a good Jesus.
Yeah, he was a very convincing Jesus. I
Yeah.
mean, after that, he decided to get fake hair, so
Yeah.
it suited him down to a T.
Yeah. Nice. That's so
But
cool.
yeah, I mean, for me, that's part of the fun of it because any excuse to dress up, I just love it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Whenever. That's why I love Halloween so much. Because
Yeah,
it's a night in the year that you can just get away with it.
yeah.
Uh,
It was awesome, and I think it definitely set the bar. Like, and
mm.
also some of the jokes, like they just continued for years. Like, do you remember Dragon?
Yeah. Yeah, Ali and I were just talking about that, just going,
Right,
Dragon. And like,
Dragon.
yeah. And towards the end of the weekend, all our voices were just getting really hoarse.
Yeah,
So, Dragon. Ah.
Dragon. And then when we went to Bestival, even though there wasn't any planes, we were just like Dragon.
With anything, a bird going over or something.
Yeah, I literally loved it. Like it was
Yeah.
so good, and the music. I mean, I think that first download, the weather was probably the shittest of like probably all the festivals I've been to. Like because it just rained a lot, didn't it?
Yeah.
I remember at one point there was some guys like topless, just like sliding through this mudslide, and I was just like, dude, you're gonna regret that.
I know. It's like the first day.
Yeah, but one of my
Crazy.
highlights was when we saw Slipknot, and literally it was like raining lightly, and it was almost like a mist.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I remember I just got goosebumps. I remember just like turning round and just like looking at the crowd, and it was just like they were just there like through this mist.
Yeah.
And there was a photo of it on the download website, and
Yeah.
I think I saved that photo. Obviously, it wasn't mine, but I
Yeah.
saved it because it just showed like I think it was like 90,000 people with just like this mist of rain. Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, it was. Yeah, that was great. That was such a good moment. And I think the song they were playing was Psychosocial as well. And there's
Yes, I
that.
think it was.
Yeah, and there's that whole bit when it's like, and the rain will kill us all, and there's just
Yes,
that,
yes,
yes,
of course, I forgot that. Yeah,
yeah, and that, yeah, that was just, yeah, it was good, yeah, definitely goosebumps in
it
that
was epic,
time,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Oh,
Um, going back to the tents that night though, it was just they were just drenched.
yeah, I remember like I had a puddle inside my tent, and I
Yeah.
was just like freezing all night, but
Oh,
it was worth it.
it's got to Bestival that yeah. I think that's the most different kind of unique one I've been to because it was and it was more like almost like 24 hours. The whole festival was just going on all the time as well,
Yeah,
rather than
I
stopping at
mean,
any point.
it's definitely. I think obviously, I mean, I love drinking. A festival is like one of the only places where you can crack open a tinny at like 8 a.m. and nobody judges you. But
Yeah,
I think Bestival was always like a whole other bloody level. Like it was just like, yeah, 24 hours.
yeah,
But I always liked it because it's like, it was the only kind of place where you could see like, just all kinds of music. Like it was just like, it's so weird. Like from Craig David to like the Chemical Brothers
yeah.
to the Jacksons. I think
Jackson's,
the
yeah.
Jacksons that year. Yeah.
Bit of Missy Elliott, I think as
And
well.
yeah, Missy Elliott, like
Yeah,
it's just so like random, but it's
yeah,
like so great at the same time.
yeah. Oh, so good. I was saying like my out of all of that, out of all the bands that played that weekend, my favourite was probably the Chuckle Brothers.
Oh my god, I forgot. Yes,
And they were only on for 10 minutes, but it was great.
literally when they split the crowd in two, and it was
Yeah.
like to me, to
See
you.
ya.
Oh god, I loved it. I literally,
Yeah.
I was just like, because I think who was everyone watching? Everyone was watching a DJ,
Yeah.
and a few of us like snuck off because it was for like 15 minutes that the Chuckle Brothers were on, and I was
Yeah.
like, how many times are you ever going to get to see the Chuckle Brothers in your
Exactly.
life?
Exactly. And it was
It's,
just the once, and it was great.
it was so good. It was
Yeah.
so good. And I remember that was the year as well. Do you remember they were trying to break a world record for the most amount of buskers in one place?
Yes. Yeah.
And I took my tambourine because I obviously wasn't going to bring like my guitar or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I brought my tambourine, and I remember it was at like midday, and I was like at the campsite, like, come on, like, who wants to come with me? And everyone was just dead. So I just went on my own and like stood in the rain with this tambourine, like, all you need is love.
Hey. Nice.
It was so weird, but
Yeah.
also brilliant.
That's what it's all about. I mean, I hope it's not different, but I do think after this whole COVID situation, whole festival thing's going to be interesting to see how that goes forward.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like literally impossible to socially distant at a festival
Mm,
unless they're going to make them much smaller, obviously, and they can really control it.
mm,
So my only worry is that, festivals won't even be open next year because it's like it might be 2 years, but I think it would definitely be worth the wait.
yeah.
And it's nice to like reminisce and just like look back on stuff. It's put me in a well good mood. I'm just
Oh,
like,
good.
oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, 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 exactly. That's kind of like I think it's so important to do at the moment, just with things being the way they are, and it's not only COVID happening in the world either, as we know, there's so many issues going on.
Yeah,
Um, it is hard to keep a stiff upper lip, I guess,
yeah.
but
I
that's
know. I think everybody has like down days and shit days, don't they? But
yeah,
I try and kind of look at it as like, because I did it with my diving as well. I was diving all last year, and then when I
mm,
came home, I went through like a whole year's worth of my GoPro footage, which was not of me. Because when you have a GoPro underwater, you don't ever get videos of you.
yeah,
And I sat there for like 2 days, and I like sorted out all my footage and like sent it off to like everyone
oh
who was
wow,
there, and
mm,
it just like filled me with so much joy because I was
yeah,
like, although like yeah, okay, I'm bored, like I want to be doing things, and everyone feels the same.
yeah,
The most important thing is obviously that we're alive, that everyone's like possible, that everyone that can, you can make it possible is healthy.
mm,
And, fuck it. Like you're going to get to do it all again. Just be grateful that you've done those things. And
mm,
then, as soon as you can do them again, just get fucking on it.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
say.
yeah, exactly. It's just our relaxing time where we're regenerating the energy, and then it'll be
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah,
half the people I know that are on furlough don't even like their jobs anyway. They're just like, oh, maybe I'll have a career change after this.
yeah,
And I'm like,
exactly.
good for you.
Yeah,
Maybe if you wouldn't have, like, stopped whinging, maybe
yeah,
you wouldn't have had that realization had you not, been on furlough.
exactly. So there is good things to come of it as well, I guess.
Yeah. But obviously, like, all these things are mine. I like, there are people seriously ill. It's like,
Yes.
it's not, I'm not just like laughing all that off,
No,
obviously,
no.
but I think it is important to try and stay positive where you can.
Yeah, and it is hard to, like you say, there are people that are seriously suffering from it. And I do know people as well who have had family relatives that are seriously ill from it or have even died from it. Um,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, so it is rough. It's a rough point in human history, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
And then when you think about that, it's like, waiting another year or 2 years for a like festival or whatever isn't the end of the world at
mm,
all.
no, exactly. Yeah, and it's when you put it into perspective and just talk to people as well, and we're all in the. It's that saying that's been going around about we're not all in the same boat, but we're in the same storm or whatever it is. I think that's how it went.
Yeah,
Um, which I think is true. Like everyone's in different circumstances.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And similarly, like what I might be stressed about is like totally different to somebody else. Like it doesn't mean anyone's like invalid with their stresses. It just means like you should always try and look at the bigger picture.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
One was Tenacious D, like
Oh
obviously.
yes, please.
I mean, I've seen them twice, but I was
Yeah.
just like, do you know what? I would travel halfway across the globe to see them.
Yeah.
I just love them.
Because you saw him in Germany, didn't you? Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did, and then I
So,
saw them like in 2012. I went with my ex, um, but that's another one of my favourite ever memories from that year in Download. Do you remember? So obviously, yeah, Download doesn't go on all night. When like the acts finish, they close, don't they? And then you kind of all walk back to the
yeah,
village and the campsite.
I know what you're gonna say. I think. Yeah.
Do you remember that night when like we were all just like the crowd was like fucking huge and everyone was
Yeah.
just like walking, a bit drunk or
Yeah.
probably very drunk back to the campsite, and then
Yeah.
like a group of people. I don't know if it was us that started it. I don't think it was, but they might have been like right next to us. But like we were like some of the very first ones started singing "Fuck Her Gently," and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
before you know it, like thousands and thousands of people
People were
around
doing it.
us are just like all singing it, like walking back to the campsite. I think
Yeah.
that is like one of my favourite memories ever.
Yeah, that was so good. I remember that, like, also joy with, because Queen as well, people were singing Bohemian Rhapsody. And
Yeah,
yeah, that along with Tenacious D was just, yeah,
I literally loved it. Probably my two favourite bands ever, Tenacious D and Queen, like literally.
yeah,
So
mixed
just all a bit
together.
of me, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I love Tenacious D as well. I do. You can't help but if you're in a bad mood or something, if you just stick some of them on, you're going to be
Yeah.
fine, like instantly almost.
Yeah, they're great like when you're angry, but also like
Mm.
if you feel like just a bit feisty one day, you know,
Yeah.
I just play them and I'll just be in the car like I am complete.
Yeah.
I really love it. It's just like so aggressive. It's almost like boxing, isn't it? Like it just gets out your frustration. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's it. And I love, like Papageno. He's my sassafras song.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the one that's really like it's got like the flutes and everything, and I
I
love.
literally, oh my god, they're just so talented.
Yeah, exactly, multi-talented.
I
um,
literally love it. I
yeah,
went to Bestival one year,
mm,
and I think it was a couple of years later, and we found this tent where they had this thing called ukulele oki,
yeah,
and it was basically like a ukulele. There was like 8 people playing the ukulele,
yeah,
and you requested a song and you sang while they played the music. And they also, some of them sang your backing track. And
mm,
I did Fuck Her Gently in this tent. There must have been a couple of hundred people in this tent.
yeah.
And I just like got up on this little stage completely sober. And
Oh,
this was on like maybe day 3, so my voice was like this anyway.
yeah.
So I literally I couldn't even speak, and I just got up on this little stage and sang it, and it was like the most tragic thing you've ever heard, but also it was just so much fun.
Oh, that sounds so good. I wish I saw
I
that.
literally I couldn't hit any of the high notes. So I was just like, there were children in the room as well. I was just
Yeah,
like, sorry,
it's a
mate. Yeah,
festival, isn't it?
exactly. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's great. Um, yeah, like I saw Tenacious D for the first time last year, when they played Wembley Arena.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was so good. It was so much fun.
Yeah, because
Um,
Hannah and Colin went, and did you go with them?
I bumped into them on because I went with. So I went because they did 2 nights, and I was fortunate enough to get to go both nights.
Were
Because
you?
I was just like they were one of my top bands to see, and I just thought fuck it, I'm gonna go both.
Yeah.
And I went one night. I went with my mum because she's a massive Tenacious D fan as well.
Yes.
And then the other night with Mitch as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just and just both nights as well. They were just so full of energy and just like yeah,
They're amazing. Like even though they're like greying and getting rather large, should I say? I
rotund.
think they've just still got it, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I was in Thailand all last year and I was so jealous. Like I genuinely was considering flying home and going to see them with the others.
Oh wow,
I was
yeah.
like, I was like, literally like, because I was so fucked off because I've been waiting for them to tour. I haven't seen them since maybe 2017.
Mm,
Yeah, so I haven't. I was waiting like I don't know, 2 years doesn't actually sound that long, but it felt
yeah,
like a long time.
yeah.
You know, I was constantly like, come on, tour again, because I saw them in Germany. So I was
Mm,
waiting for them to come to the UK, and they just never did, never did, never did, never did. I piss off to Thailand, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're coming to
the
London. I was
UK.
like, "You fuckers. I was literally
Yeah,
so
yeah.
angry.
Because it's so
Oh,
rare that they play London
yeah.
now, just once in a blue moon.
Yeah. Well, next time they'll just have to play in bloody Thailand, and then
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I can't
That'd be
imagine
fine.
the Thai people appreciating them though.
Really?
But you know, they
Yeah,
have to just make do.
yeah, exactly. It's worth a try, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got their because they've got their own festival in America, I think, called Festival Supreme.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, I think it's only like once every few years they've done it, but they tend to have like comedy rock groups there. So like oh, who did they had Flight of the Conchords there one year, and then I think,
Oh, really?
yeah, the Mighty Boosh and Weird Al and all that sort of thing, and they like headline at the end of the day. It's pretty
Oh
good.
my God, that's like classic them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
One of the reasons I like Bestival is because I mean they don't have a lot of rock or anything, but
Mm,
they always have like some really old acts,
yeah,
like not old, but not current. Like
yeah.
people still know them.
Retro.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
Jacksons, for example.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
people
That's so
maybe
random.
like people you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to see them,
Mm,
but then like it's just great to have that
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, but because they were there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. I remember when because Duran were there as well, weren't they?
Yes,
That, that was great.
that was so good. Literally
Yeah.
loved it.
I remember because I was particularly waiting for them to play "Hungry Like the Wolf,"
Yeah.
and they didn't play it for a few songs in, and then we were kind of desperate to get another beer, so so we went to the bar and they played it as soon as we went to the bar and got queued up. And I was like, oh,
That is literally typical. That
yeah,
always happens to me with the toilet because like the loos in the main arena always have such huge queues,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I really need a wee, but I'm gonna wait. And then as soon as you like walk that way and get in the queue,
yeah,
it's like, damn it, you can hear it, and you're
yeah.
like standing in the queue, like, hurry
Oh
up!
yeah, yeah. Just bopping along.
Yeah, it's like torture.
Just doing like this today has sort of put a spring in my step as well. So it's
Yeah,
nice.
definitely. And I'll tell you what, once they're all up and running, and we'll all get tickets and we'll all go in a group again, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna make you dress up.
I'll be up. I'll do anything.
Yeah. Even if we have like a group dress theme, like the Fish Fingers and Captain Birdseye, we'll think of something.
Exactly. Can be anything.
Yeah, it'll be so good. I mean, we've got plenty of time. I'll start brainstorming now.
Yeah. Yeah. Got the time to
I'll
think about
start.
it
I'll
now.
start planning it. The bigger, the better.
Yeah. And I remember Colin saying he was doing the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing. He was saying about Tortuga and stuff like that. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
the sharks will be feasting tonight.
That's it. Yeah. I was trying to
Yeah,
think what
'cause
the other line was, so that was it.
whenever we go to Bestival, we always play the Pirates of the Caribbean theme tune on the ferry. And do you remember when we went that year? We had the pirate bunting hanging around
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
campsite to try and help us be more visible, but I still got lost one night. I
Yeah,
was walking around like I'm looking for the pirates.
yeah. People are like,
Yeah.
"You're right. I'm looking for the pirates."
Yeah. Have you seen the pirates? There's some guy screaming about scallywags and sharks.
Yeah, yeah. He's over there. Okay, that's right.
It's a shame we don't still have the Camp Colin sign.
Oh yeah,
Do you
legendary.
remember that?
I do
I
remember
can't.
that.
It still baffles me to this day how we came up with that nickname, and then like on the last day, Hannah finds that piece of cardboard that says Camp Colin on it.
Yeah,
Like what the hell?
yeah.
But
So weird.
we,
Didn't Colin find like a sword in the portal or something?
yeah, he did the dirty fecker. He
Dirty
found that
fecker.
sword and he was like whipping everyone with it all weekend.
This
Good job nobody
diseased
has any
thing.
hygiene standards when you go to a festival.
Yeah, be very frowned upon now.
Yeah, yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh, it's been great catching up with
it's been
you.
lovely. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, no worries. Take care of yourself.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.